It's car con carne. Let's eat in the car. It's car con carne. And now here's the star of our show, James Van Alstyne.
This is like a TV commercial. You're looking at the cheese dripping. And happy hump day. It is Car Con Carne. It is Wednesday, right? I am completely thrown off. Now that we're 14 months into the pandemic, I really have no sense of dates, weeks, times. I think it's Wednesday. If it is, happy Wednesday to you. Car Con Carne, sponsored by our friends at Siren Records. Mick Henry went there a week or so ago. I'll probably be back there within the next week or two. I love going there. Thanks to our friends at Siren Records. Mick Henry for sponsoring tonight's show. My guest tonight, he is an old friend. In fact, a quick history lesson. He last appeared. This can't be true. Is this the last time you were on the show? Was in October of 2014, John Carruthers?
Yeah.
Has it seriously been 7 years since you were on this podcast?
Oh, yeah. I figure you decided it was enough.
I feel very bad. Well, I guess I'm making up for lost time now by having you back on. 7 years. Episode 10 was the last time we heard John Carruthers on Car Con Carne.
Oh, wait, was that the last pit stop? Was that the terrible place? We did one after that.
No, we did.
We did the chicken chalupa. That's
right. We did Taco Bell. That's right. Okay, so that was episode. We do a quick search for Carruthers on my spreadsheet.
Sorry, I didn't mean to throw this to the research department.
No, that's good. The research department has come back and said episode 95 was your last appearance in 2017. So it's been a mere 4+ years.
Yeah, still
long overdue. So I came to know John Carruthers through his work with the fine social movement known as Man BQ. These days, he is a marketing person, a writer, an author, and a pizza maker, and a benevolent force in the greater Chicago community. Let's start with that. Let's start with Crust Fund Pizza, John Carruthers. What is it?
Crust Fund Pizza is kind of an outgrowth of the pandemic hobby that I got. I've been a cook for a long time, but it was mostly barbecue, grilled meats, smoked meats, a lot of things. Once we all were kind of not going anywhere, I needed something to mark the time where I was going to go insane. So I started making pizza, and I mean from scratch, like flour, water, dough. I mean, it was a dad hobby. I mean, it was very dad energy. Like, I'm going to take this little bit of my life and F around with it for 80% of my free time. And once that kind of turned into something I wanted to do for other people, it was summer of last year, which was horrible. And I figured, there are people who are doing real good social work, who are perpetuating a movement towards justice and equality. I can't do that. I'm not an organizer. I don't know anything, but let's sell some pizza and get those people money. That's the whole genesis behind Crust Fund Pizza.
And to further explain, well, I'll just use your own words. Here's the gist. Once a month on a Monday, I'll post on Instagram about my pizza thoughts and feelings and a theoretical menu. My friends will react to this with a DM to check oven availability, then donate at least $25 to a Chicago nonprofit I pick. If I'm feeling the magical power of friendship, you'll get to reserve a friend pizza. Your choices for pickup are going to run one night only with pickup slots between 8 and 10 p.m. You have to come to my secret location. It's real speakeasy action.
Yeah, no, that's true. I do like how kicky I got with that, considering,
kicky, yeah.
That's true. I didn't want, we all saw what happened to the tamale guy, right? When he tried to make it legit.
Right. You can't charge. I can't say, how much can I give you for a pizza?
Exactly. So I don't sell anything, man. I haven't sold a single pizza in my career.
That's right. You're just sharing them.
But a lot of cool organizations have got a lot of money because of pizzas indirectly.
This is like benevolent money laundering, really.
I mean, really, yeah, it is. It's the opposite of shaming people into donating. It's like pizza, which is the opposite of feeling shame. And it's, but you still give that money to people.
So let's go backwards to the start of all this. I mean, I
Mhm.
know when the pandemic hit me, similar to you, I thought I'm going to throw myself into a hobby. So I started to learn how to play guitar. I started podcasting every night instead of weekly. I'm still doing both, but I felt the need to do something with all that energy and prevent myself from going down that rabbit hole of disgust and self-loathing and never-ending scrolling through Netflix. You landed on pizza. I mean, you obviously had a spark to really go all in on pizza before the pandemic, and this was it. This was the tipping point for you.
It was just like, you know how sometimes you just pick up a new hobby at a certain age and you don't really have any connection to the hobby and you just love it so much that all you want to do and think about and talk about and buy books about is it. Like some people get into home brewing and that's great. Some people get into gardening and that's great. Like pizza was my, James, I used to read novels. I used to read nonfiction books. I used to all I want to do is think and talk about pizza now. And I'm not sorry for it. It's awesome.
It's your calling. You found your calling. It takes some people a lifetime to get to this point.
But
you found it.
It was not a conscious decision. I mean, like legitimately, I don't want to gloss this over. You look at the social issues that plagued our country in 2020, the root of that. And like, I know it's cute, and I have like a really cute, like cool cup head, like 1940s, let's all get the lobby looking logo.
I was going to talk about that because it's one of my favorite things about Crust Fund Pizza.
It's so good, but like, it's all wrapped up in a really slick thing because no one takes me seriously when I'm serious. I'm a very goofy guy, but like, honestly, like the whole Crust Fund thing was like, how can I not have a heart attack from rage before I'm 40 at what's going on in this world? Like, let's help a little bit. Let's help what we can, and let's keep it in town. You know, that was the deal.
Well, it's something, and we're slightly different in age, but I have this feeling a lot, and I've had this feeling before 2020 of just shit. I know I can and should do more, and sometimes it's hard. I think to your point of knowing how to even start. Like I'm not an organizer, like you said.
Yeah, just a teensy thing. Like I'm good at one thing that on a social level just sucks in terms of moving the needle. But like, I can take this part and point you over here and like, hey, you want to give some money to my blog, My Hood, My City? I know they're doing great work, and you giving them money will be a lot better than if you give me money.
Exactly. So as far as the pizza goes, you seem visually, I'm looking at the pictures, you've mastered Tavern-style pizza. I mean, these pictures are pornographic. These look like perfection.
You know, your words, not mine. I have spent a lot of time making them. And honestly, for the listeners, if you ever want to master a certain thing, make yourself professionally obligated to do it a couple dozen times, like for every month in a row. And like, you'll figure some stuff out real fast. I have not only figured out the way to make pizza at home, I have figured out the way to scale up my kitchen to make pizza, not commercially, but like as commercially as I can do at home. My God, James, the first few months, you know, it's like you make the dough, you cold ferment it, you take it out, you rest it, you know, you roll it out. I was doing that for everyone. Like, so it was like, oh, like 8:15, got to do a pizza. 8:35, got to do 2 pizzas. I was just rolling them out right before putting in the oven like a psychopath. Like you really, like, you know, I don't have the good instincts on this, I guess, but I was a quick learner. So it's really fun. Like you learn to scale up. You learn how to do something as good for yourself as you can do for other people, like at scale, and that's pretty fun. And to be fair, the scale is still quite small. I have that oven and that oven.
Well, that's more than most.
We're not commercial. We're not a commercial entity anytime soon, but a lot of people are interested, and it's really fun.
So, what is it about Tavern-style as opposed to deep dish in Chicago?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I grew up in the place you're apparently mayor of, you know, McHenry, Illinois, where any business owner will welcome you and give you the key to that business. When we grew up, it was, you know, it was Rosati's, it was the Village Squire. Like pizza was square, pizza was easy to share and enjoy, and it was like part of the background of everything, you know, like deep dish was kind of a special occasion thing, but I don't even remember it entering my life until I was in like high school or something. And then, you know, so you grow up, you become a food writer of minor note in my case. And all of a sudden, all these other like award-winning ones are like, oh, look at these stupid a-holes in Chicago who are just pouring pizza soup in a bread bowl. And I'm like, first of all, that is perfectly delicious. And I'm sorry it doesn't work with your keto diet, you dong. But also,
You dong.
Like,
you dong.
But also, most of us just grow up eating something else. And like, I know we have a very balkanized city in terms of traditions and methods, but I think from the south side to the north side, like most people like who grew up here, you know, and suburbs, by the way, I'm not pretending to be born and raised here, but it's like, you know, you think of pizza as kind of the square thing that's thin crust and easy to eat. And like, it's delicious. It's joyful. The sauce can be sweet like Aurelio's. It can be herbaceous like Michael's. You can go way low on the cheese like Marie's. Like there's a million different variations, just like there is for just triangle cut pizza. But because
this is a man listening to you. This is a man who's done his homework. This is a man who knows of which he speaks.
Oh, I eat a lot of pizza, James. But like there's so much variety to it. And I'm not begrudging them, but because of the marketing success of the deep dish pizza, you know, the local real style kind of gets a little bit of short shrift, and you know, it shouldn't. It's delicious. It's great. You can make it in your own house if I'm any proof.
And you've discovered the secret to restaurant style pizza boxes.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Yeah. I would say, you know, the Crust Fund isn't just me, it's a team. My sister handles the social media on the days my hands are full of flour. Designer Zach Sherwood creates the menus. The artist Anthony Hall came up with the logo that you dig. But the real linchpin to this team is my wife, who offers patience because I had to talk her into doing this, you know, back in June, July of last year. And I'm like, all right. Like, you know how I'm super insufferable when I try to do pop-ups and scale things? Like, we're going to do this for pizza, but we're going to do it all the time. So we're constantly getting shipments of pizza boxes, you know, like on, you know, flattened pizza boxes, like in the big, just plastic packing slip trays from Amazon. I got the circles, you know, like we've got different pizza peels. I'm getting pallets of the tomatoes in like the big number 9 cans. It's like a whole thing. Like I used to have a beer fridge in the basement. It is now the pizza stuff staging fridge.
That's fantastic. And the logo, for those who are listening, I'm showing the logo on screen right now. This is exactly like, yes, let's all go to the lobby, those old like 1940s intermission break animated interludes. I love this style of design. Like I saw this and it just brought the biggest smile to my face. I instantly understood it.
I was very lucky. So when I went to high school with, ended up being a very successful illustrator in Chicago. His name's Anthony Hall, and he sells under the name Hairbrained, and you can find his stuff online. He just does like this is like just like a couple hours work for him. Like he makes such amazing creative stuff and has such cool stuff. Like check him out, Hairbrained.
Love it.
He's located in Portage Park. Like awesome Chicago business.
He's a damn genius.
Agreed. I still remember our high school art teacher gave him crap because she's like, you can't just draw like a cartoon and make a living out of it. And she was wrong.
Well, and anytime a teacher says that, the way that story always ends is that inspires the student to do the exact opposite. Oh yeah, you think I can't do it? I'm going to find a way to make that happen. Yeah. That's what I did in college, at Columbia College. You want to make it in radio, you got to move to Duluth and work at 12 o'clock in the morning and play shitty records. I thought, well, no, I don't.
I honestly, every time I get to do something fun with writing or whatever, I still think about a certain older relative in college who's like, great article in that national magazine. How are you going to pay your bills with it? And I'm like,
yeah,
F you, lady.
That's right. Watch me, bitch. So this is happening every week. Crust Fund.
No, once a month.
Once a month. Okay. Every week you'd probably.
I compress it. Every week I think I wouldn't like pizza anymore.
Okay. Well, that seems manageable. So it's even more special.
No, it is. It's wild, James. I originally was like, I'm not sure if this will go anywhere because I'm not sure people will like want to. It's Byzantine, right? Like you gotta stalk someone's Instagram, you gotta get DMs, you gotta make a donation over here, and it's not directly, and then send it to me. Then you get the undisclosed location, and it's
It's a video game. You created a real life video game.
Yeah, it's a real quest, you know? Like you gotta get the key and you gotta unlock the key, then you got to get the wizard, the staff, so he gives you the thing you want for the other thing.
And then once you get to Hyrule, you get the pizza.
Yeah. I gotta tell you, like, people are selling me out. I don't think it's lasted more than 5 minutes since the reader wrote it up a few months ago. Like, it's wild. People just want pizza. I have this one guy, I'll give him a shout out. His name's Young Choi. He goes, I have 2 alerts set on my phone, and it's when Adrian Wojnarowski posts, because he's a big NBA guy, and it's when you post. And he's like, he gets the pizza. He's not always the first, but he gets it like every month. And like, I have to tell no to multiple people every month. And I'm like, you, sir, are a wizard. Because I don't, my family, my friends, like, you can't skip the line. I take a very hot Dougsian view.
That's the model right there. All are equal in the eyes of Hot Doug and Crust Fund Pizza.
Exactly. And Doug texted me the other day. We were texting about the book, not to ruin your segue here, but he goes, hey, and when can I get a pizza? And I'm like, well, I'll let you know when it's going. But like, you know, you gotta throw in with people.
That's amazing. He was on my 600th episode last week.
That's a good milestone guest.
That's what I thought. He's literally doing nothing, and he couldn't be happier about it.
I know. When we could still mingle freely at Cubs games, I'm not a big bleacher guy. I am a big 500 section guy because you can see the lake at Wrigley Field. I know you're a Sox guy. Bear with me. But
Tuesday night. Going next Tuesday.
I used to buy bleacher tickets once in a while because I knew I could see Doug in the stands because, you know, he's got like that stand in center field, and he's got the vendor pass. He's like, hey, this is like the secret. He's like, I signed up on this place and like they pay me, but also like I can go to any game because I'm a vendor. He's like, I got like a free bleacher season ticket every year. So now I'm like, oh man, like I'll buy a bleacher ticket if they're all right, because like I can go see Doug if he's there.
I love Doug, but I realized in interviewing him last time, I have nothing to ask him. As an interviewee goes, there's nothing to talk about.
No, you gotta ask him about other stuff. And frankly, that's one of the most delightful parts about him. He has takes on everything, man. Born and raised Chicagoan, big eater. Like, the guy has a wealth of knowledge. And I think him not being the center of the discussion, like, I think he digs it.
Oh, he absolutely digs it. All right, back to Crust Fund Pizza, this monthly thing that you cannot line jump for, that you have to compete with the rest of us civilians to get access to.
Toughest ticket in town.
It is the toughest ticket.
It is literally like Rayo's, except it's super shady.
I was going to say, this is like Cats.
Yeah. It's stupid. I mean, I dig it. I think I make a really good pizza, but the only really exciting part about this to me is and I don't mean this. The exciting part is making pizza for people and seeing them enjoy it. But like, the really cool part is at the end of the night, when the last pizza goes out, I open a beer. Maybe I have some of the medical marijuana I'm cleared for because I got that card, and I relax and I take a little sheet of paper and go through my DMs and I add up what the total contributions added up to this year. And then that's like the last, like Instagram story of the night. And that's always like the whole, the holy shit mode, because it's like, oh my gosh, like I made this many pizzas and these people gave this much money to like Injustice Watch or the Greater Chicago Legal Clinic or Connections for Abused Women and Their Children. Like, that's the cool part. Like, take it away from me and the pizza. It's like, these people are supporting this organization, and I like got to be here to see it is the best.
Are you at the point now where not-for-profits are contacting you saying, hey, if you ever want to partner up, we're a worthy organization? Are you at that point?
I have got a few in the works. It's exciting. Like, I tend to focus on, social justice and things that really happen within the borders of Chicago. But even then, there's just plenty of runway there. I guess I could shout one out, the Dignity Diner. They serve before COVID, sit down meals to homeless people and make them feel welcome and attended to and stuff like that's fun stuff. And a few more have reached out. It's nice that other people are seeing it and seeing what kind of a tool it can be. Because especially with local organizations, $600, $700, $800 can be like a big boon for a given month to somebody.
One of the topics I keep coming back to is that of curation. Usually I bring it up in relation to music, but I think it's also valid when it comes to charitable organizations. Going back to this idea that I don't even know where to begin sometimes, I like the fact that you've identified these players in the community who do good things, and it kind of takes the guesswork out of other people's heads. Like, here's this great organization, you stand behind it, you put your stamp on it, and you've basically curated a charitable effort for me or for someone else.
I mean, and you can see I've got a big bias towards local community journalism, especially, I mean, it's all been nonprofit. The Tribe, I intend to do The Reader in the future. Block Club was this last month. Like, that's one of the things that I feel good about. But, you know, my day job at Revolution Brewing, part of that is overseeing our charitable donations and giving. And so I am lucky enough to have really gotten to work closely with some amazing organizations in Chicago that do a lot of great work, and where you know that every dollar you put toward a pizza or a direct contribution to them, Sans Pizza, is really doing some cool stuff, especially CAWC. I think they're one of the best organizations out there. I mean, they take care of women and children escaping abusive situations. And everyone I've met there is incredibly committed to their work. And it's just always an honor to like do anything with them. We do a lot of stuff with them at the brewery. And we have a Saison coming out later this month that's going to go to support them. And it's always good. Like you get a lot of charity spam mail. There's a lot of like digital advertising and stuff. But when you really work hands-on with somebody like CAWC or My Block, My Hood, My City, like you understand that like some people, it's not about being a national name in charitable giving or as a foundation. It's about doing work in the community. And that's really where we try to cap it here, is like the borders of Chicagoland.
I didn't know if you wanted to keep your day job separate from this chat, but you are the communications manager for Revolution?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I do a lot of social media, like I said, charitable giving, PR and all that. And I only brought it up to just illustrate like how I kind of sourced a lot of these organizations that we end up participating with. Because like, you're right. Like when I put an organization as the organization of the month, like I'm really like, I'm saying like, I believe in them. I vetted them. I think they do amazing work.
Yeah, vetted. That's the word I think I was scrambling.
I'm not any kind of authority. I'm just saying like the person, believe in them. I, the pizza man.
And as far as you and Revolution go, there is Carcon Carne history. Back episode 242, we did a podcast episode with Jim Peterick.
I remember this. I had just started there. I think I hooked you guys up with the to-go order.
You did. It was awesome. Loved it. That was a great time. And Jim Peterick.
We'll have you back anytime.
I love it. Well, that was an especially memorable episode because Jim Peterick has, he's done everything in rock and roll. He's written so many hit songs for so many different people.
That was an amazing episode. I was super excited about that particular episode.
My favorite moment, this was a bucket list moment, was Jim Peterick playing the song Vehicle in my vehicle. That's all I wanted out of that episode. And it happened.
It's a real Arubaros moment.
That's exactly what it was. So as far as the menu goes, I've looked over the menu. You have the sausage, which needs to be said like that. I mean, there's no other way to put it. The sausage. The Royco. Mm-hmm. Is the Royco the one with the Jardinera?
Yeah.
Okay.
The Royco is the one that joined by popular acclaim because people know that I like Jardinera on pizza. And the first few menus did not have it as an option because it was very basic, like cheese, sausage, special. And then people kept ordering it anyway. And I'm a people pleaser, so instead of telling them I don't have Jardinera, I'm like, oh, I was going to go buy a tub of Jardinera. And it kept happening. So eventually I was like, fine. You win. Jardinera's on the menu, but I got to name it for my favorite Jardinera and softball person.
The most Chicago person ever. I am totally late to the Jardinera on pizza party. I think it was only a few years ago that I first had like Italian beef and Jardinera on a pizza. It was the greatest. And now I can't get enough.
It's so good. I was a late-ish convert too. I didn't know this until Armand's, the local pizza chain, or Armand's, I don't know how you say it, partially sponsored our softball team one year. So we get 3 pies after every game, and like someone sent a Jardinera. I was like, what? Oh, it was like, I like these things separately. I never thought of them together. And then you have it together, and it's literally that Ratatouille scene where the symphony notes are playing in the air together. And I was like, gosh, I feel like I've wasted every day up until now by not eating this.
See, I had my first one at Vito and Nick's.
Yeah. Oh, well, and what a place to be introduced to anything.
That's, speaking of Chicago and sausage, I mean, that's it right there. But I mean, the way the oil from the giardiniera kind of finds its way to the crust and into the cheese, that's And speaking as a purveyor now and onto the cardboard at the bottom, that's how you know it's like really it's a true infusion. True. All right, so what else is on the menu? If people want to, when's the next round?
It will be a little bit later this month. I haven't announced the date yet, but anyone who wants to get the inside scoop can email me to get on the mailing list. And when I say mailing list, I mean like truly like a 1998 like AOL mailing list. You're just adding
CCs. It's not actually like a MailChimp. You're just adding CCs to like a Gmail.
I know you think you're joking, but yes, I'm literally clicking on your contact in Gmail and putting the mailing list label on, and then I VPC the mailing list because I'm not some kind of fraud. I used to work for a large company. I know how regular CCs go and the reply alls. Yeah, you just email me at crustfunpizza@gmail. I literally have to click each one of you on, and then once a month, it's pretty much just once a month, you get one email. It's all text. It's extremely retrograde. Like you should really plug in your dial-up modem to get it. It's just me, just a wall of text about like, hey, here's some dumb stuff I thought. Here's this menu. Here's some stuff about the nonprofit. Here's a dumb joke I'm choosing to sign off with. And like, that's your email I think it's charmingly retrograde. It's like a real.
All right, what's the email address?
crustfunpizza@gmail.
All right.
That's all it takes.
Done. Boom.
Blocked and reported. Thank you.
Wanted to share that with everyone. I took action.
But yeah, I don't want to brag, James. I don't want to come on here like I'm cock of the walk, but
I don't even know what that means. I don't even know.
The mailing list has recently surpassed 103 subscribers.
Dude.
And like, we're pretty soon we're going to have more subscribers than FM frequencies, and it's going to be amazing.
I can neither confirm nor deny. But this is really exciting. This is really, I love what you're doing, and your pizza love is so far reaching, so deep. It's extended into publishing.
Yes. Publishing. I'll tell you about it.
Tell me about the book you've been working on.
All right. So the idea is, behind Crust Fund is always like push the most money to the people doing the best work, right? But, you saw earlier the one oven and the two oven. I hope that people, if you're not watching on video, I have two ovens in this kitchen that all the pizza for Crust Fund goes out. So I have like a capacity ceiling. My wife has been loath to turn one entire wall into a wall of ovens like we're some kind of demented boulangerie, so we won't be doing that. But in terms of scaling up kind of the efforts, the good for the community, what I ended up doing was harassing a bunch of folks, just outright harassing. Bugging people is, I think, besides pizza, my one natural talent, into offering recipes and essays on Chicago pizza for what is basically like a church cookbook. You remember those old spiral bound, like plastic ring Kinko's?
Every grandparent had one.
Exactly. So no one makes those anymore. Kinko's doesn't even, Kinko's is FedEx now. They don't even do spiral binding. But we're going to make one, and we're going to use, some places still spiral or comb bind. We're going to find a printer that does that. And we have got just an absolute like 1908 Cubs row of, or you know what, I can't say the 1906 Sox. That was a bad hitting team. The 2005 Sox rotation.
There you go.
Pizza folks in Chicago, and it's all like literally. This is, if you wanted to open up one of those grandma cookbooks and only read about pizza, it is pizza from back to front. We've got people doing recipes. We've got people doing essays. We've got local artists who have pizza art in it. It's going to be amazing. And I sold a little bit of advertising in the book. I saved my birthday money, like I'm 11 years old looking for a BMX, and I'm going to just pay to print the thing. And it's going to be the exact same thing as the pizzas. The idea is you make a direct donation, screenshot me, and then you pick up your cookbook. But we're taking it a step further. People had a tough 2020, so all the pickups are going to be at local businesses. And part of the deal is, you order the book, you make the donation, you pick it up at a local business. And, the unwritten rule is like, hey, while you're there, order something. It's
Brilliant.
It's neighborhood businesses like Dovetail Brewery, JP Graziano's, Savory Spice Shop, More Brewing for the suburbanites. Just really neat, cool places that could really use your support and will also help you support the nonprofits that we will do for the book. And the book will have a host of nonprofits attached to it, Block Club, The Tribe, My Block, My Hood, My City, CAWC, like pretty much everyone I've done for pizza, plus a couple more, because everyone could use a lot of help these days.
I cannot wait to read this. I mean, the concept, when you first told me about it, I totally sold. I mean, once you described it as that church spiral bound cookbook, I had the vision in my head instantly.
It's going to be fun. And I don't want to put you on blast, but you're in the thing,
I am. I wrote what will likely be the most controversial essay in the book.
Oh, man, the illustration for your essay is maybe my favorite one in the whole book.
So there's the tease right there.
Yeah, I don't want to spoil it. It's too amazing. But like some other people in this, the aforementioned Hot Doug is in there. There are different restaurateurs in there. Jonathan from Spaccanapoli has something in there. You can cook Spaccanapoli pizza at home. That's like one of the best pizzas in the USA. Derek Tung from Pauly G's gave his Detroit-style pizza recipe. That is like the god-tier pantheon of Detroit-style pizza, not just in Chicago, but in the entire country.
Yeah, former Carcon Carne guest. That is totally legit.
Yeah, Dennis Lee, who works for the Takeout now, used to cook at Pauly G's. Kate Bernat, who is a full-time beer writer now, but was a big freelancer here, local Northwestern alum. Chandra Ram, who runs Plate Magazine, the food magazine for chefs. Like it's crazy. You're gonna go through this book, and the only person that you're gonna go, who's that guy, is like the ones where I inserted my own articles into it.
I love I'm glad you saved your birthday money. I mean, really.
I mean, what else am I going to do with it? I got all my pizzas. I got my tomatoes. I got my cheese. I got my sauce. I don't know what else I need money for.
So, are you kind of locked into your set recipes? I mean, you did the Giardiniera pizza. Are you playing around in the kitchen? Or are you coming up with new ideas? Or are you kind of static for?
No, every month. Every month is a new special. We had a really fun one that I'm developing for either next month or the month after. There's two. One, my wife's the birthday of my wife's late father came by, and she he was from Cuba. She was the one who first taught me how to love Cuba. She's like, can you try to like make a pizza with some of these things he used to like? And we made one called the Frank. His name was Frank. It was Rene. He changed it to Frank after he moved to America. And so we called it the Frank, and it's got lechon asado. It's got 2 different kinds of Maduros in it. It has got shaved Parmesan, chimichurri.
Get out.
Just a wild SB. It's so delicious. Like the mixture of the cheese and the herbs and the pork on like a tavern-style pizza. This is all scaled so you can still eat a square of it and not have it be like a soupy handful.
Mm-hmm.
It's really good. That's coming very soon to a Crust Fund special.
That's exciting.
Also, the Spice House in Evanston just sent me a giant box of cool stuff unbidden because they saw like a local spot that I was in there. Hey, we like what you're doing for charity. Like here, have like everything we have related to pizza. And they sent some killer dried mushrooms. And I'm a big mushrooms on pizza guy. So I'm like, we're going to play around with this till we get it right.
I love Spice House too.
Yeah, it's really, really nice stuff. It's going from... I don't know. It's like going from Spice House, like when you've been buying grocery store spices all your life is like, I don't know, man. It's like eating at a farm or something for the first time after just eating at McDonald's.
It is. I mean, that's where I get all my vanilla from, all my oregano, everything.
Yeah, it's amazing. Like, yeah, fresh spices that don't go through like an enormous supply chain to make it to you in a little jar. Like it is night and day.
It is. All right. So again, you dong, if people want to get hooked up, they should email you to get on that email list. that very carefully crafted, hand created.
It's a very curated artistic email list. I'm just bad at organizing things. I'm sure there's an easier way to do this, but for now you get the personal touch until someone tells me, hey, idiot, this is how you do it.
But I get it too. I mean, just from doing this podcast by myself, sometimes you just, you find a way to get stuff going and you think, I will fine tune that later. I just want to get this moving forward. I will go back and clean things up down the road, but I just need to keep the train on the track.
Right. And I promise everyone who subscribes that even if I find the easier way to do the mailing list, I'll never find an easier way to do the pizza.
And with that, John Carruthers of Crust Fund Pizza.
The Instagram is at Nachos and Lager.
I was going to say that.
Oh, sorry. Pizza. It's pizza all the way down, mostly.
You're going about this interview like I've never done this
before. On everything.
How dare you?
4 years.
How dare you?
That's going to be another 4 years, James.
I know I need to have you on more often. Maybe that's it. We need to rebuild the rapport.
You know what? You can always embed yourself in the alley for a Crust Fund pickup night if you ever wanted to do some like on the ground, like risky reporting.
Some real speakeasy action.
Yeah, exactly. The real speakeasy action.
Get some of that hot pizza action in your alley.
Yeah, you just got to make sure you can jump over a fence with whatever gear that you rock when the fuzz arrives. I've
slimmed down my my operating.
Well, good. It sounds like this is as good a time as any.
Yeah, words fail me. John Carruthers, again, Nachos and Lager on Instagram. Crust Fund Pizza doing good work using pizza as the method, which we celebrate here in Chicago. Really well done, and we can't wait for that book.
I promise it's coming so soon. We're going to get it out to as many people as we can.
All right, you stay there. Thank you, everyone, for watching and or listening. It's Carquin Carney. That's John Carruthers.